Yeah, we
It's
are.
live.
Yep, we are live.
It's alive. It's
Hello, everyone.
alive. Hi.
Welcome back, streaming.
Nice to
Yeah.
see you. I got
As
sick.
you know,
Then this is why I've been spending my time
the
on.
swimming show is back.
Yeah.
Yes. So, hello everybody. I got sick last
Hello,
week.
everyone.
So blame the germs. It's all about the germs. So hello and goodbye. Just kidding. So what we have for the next is end of the year. It's episode we lose count. I lose count. So
it's
we have
12. It's episode 12.
Oh, it's episode 12. Cool. Since I don't celebrate Christmas, we could continue to do our show. Just kidding. But seriously,
Christmas is on Tuesday, though.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because that's the same date as what Golang's supposed to be at.
Okay. All right. So today I'm back with Tristan and Chi Leong on the show. So what's new happening for the last few days?
What?
Have you guys tried
Ruby Tuesday yesterday?
Yeah, we just finished Ruby Tuesday, so the last Ruby Tuesday of the year.
Cool.
And we are having, Jim is still figuring out if we're doing it on New Year's Eve or we're doing it on the 8th, or we're just going to do it after Chinese New Year, so we'll see.
As a Chinese, I recommend the 8th because it's a Chinese thing.
Mm-hmm.
But ignore me. I'm being random. So that's happening. Any other tech event happening in December? I think there's a DevKami.
Not really. There's a DevKami meetups on the 18th.
Yep. And I think that's about it, right?
Fashion Valley, Glow Damansara.
Cool. Oh,
I think that's the only event. That's the only tech meetup that we have left for the year.
Okay, cool. But Damansara, is it near MRT?
Yes, the TDDI MRT station.
Okay, cool.
You know where Next Academy is?
Okay. I know.
That's actually, I think it's the same building.
Oh, okay. Cool. Interesting. All right.
There's Advent of Code that people are joining.
Yes, I tried. I did day 2. Day 3 is interesting. Day 3 is really interesting. I got a little sick, so I didn't continue. I need to continue on.
How do you get ranked there? I see that there are rankings, but I don't know how you actually get
the ranking. The ranking is actually the faster you solve the problem. So if you delay the question for a few days, you pretty much lost it already. So which is why engineers.my had a private leaderboard instead.
There's a global one, then you can actually join teams.
Yes.
So you have your own private leaderboard among your friends.
Correct. I think unless you're very good, it's pretty much you have to fight very fast. And in the US, some of the developers is on holiday already, so they pretty much do it outside work time. So I don't think it's nice to compete internationally. It's just that we just can't keep up. Even though it's actually had the puzzle released one day till Christmas, so can pretty much forget about that. But it's a very good challenge. I recommend you to try your hand on it.
Yeah, it's actually more sort of like speed coding instead of algorithm test and stuff. Of course, there's some algorithm involved, but it's mainly speed coding.
Yep.
Are you joining? Chi Leong, did you join?
I think we lost him.
I think I'm breaking off.
Yeah. You just keep affirm yes now.
Actually, just to my network cards.
Okay. Yeah. Well, but streaming is joining, right?
Yeah. I'm joining, but I pretty much lost it. So if you look at the engineers.my, there is a private leaderboard. Those guys are
I actually had Steam running, and it's been updating some of my games in the background.
Ah.
Okay.
Okay.
How
Now it
about
should
you,
be
Chil
fine.
Young? Were you joining? Were you participating?
Not for this
No?
year. Yeah, I'm a
Mm.
bit. I'm still in a way like
A little burnout.
yeah, like then I need to like mentally prepare myself and stuff, get everything sorted out, and
Yeah.
then probably then I'll go back to more sort of learning and doing this kind of quiz. And
Yeah.
Mm.
right now, I just want rest.
Yes. I need to continue on a few other as well. Like, have you do Euler Plus on HackerRank before?
No.
So HackerRank had okay, Euler Project Euler is a competition.
And before you go too far ahead,
Okay, we're going
the
to talk
topic for
about
this week is.
hackathons.
It's not about quizzes, you know. It can be another episode, but this week is about hackathon
Well,
Yes.
because I've just
well,
announced it.
I thought this week is whatever streaming wants to talk about.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, we need to control it sometimes.
yeah,
Privileges, privileges.
right. I'm going to keep talking about code challenges, but it actually relevant. Believe it or not, it's actually relevant.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
actually, here's the thing, right? I mean, I've run a lot about hackathon before in private, maybe in public. I don't know. But what makes you people think? You guys think about topic on hackathon? Why the
I think
idea
the
of topic hackathon?
last hackathon I joined was, I think, 2015, I think.
Okay.
That was like some few years ago. That was in Singapore. That was good.
Okay.
It was sponsored by DBS.
Uh-huh.
Back then, the exchange rate for a Singapore dollar was 3 point something.
Yep.
And so if you convert the winnings that I had, I think that was about 30K,
Cool.
which is not bad. Yeah, second prize. So like hackathons in Singapore are much, much better than the ones here in Malaysia.
Yes, I kind of agree on that.
Well, which is I think it's good. They actually, so at least the people there, the judges were more on the innovation, the idea,
Yep.
and not of like how do you monetize this particular software that you just did. So it's like about
Uh-huh.
the twist. So it's about taking whatever technologies is currently here and then putting it together in a very innovative way that hasn't been thought of before. And it's a hack, but it's also useful. So I like the hackathons that are happening there.
So I don't remember which is the last one. A few years back, I joined a few.
Is that the Tris? Is that the 24-hour or
Yeah,
few
it's a
days?
24-hour. It's a 24-hour hackathon. It's a DBS blockchain hack. Let me see if I can find that.
Yeah, I remember having that. So
I'll put that on the show note as well.
yep. So Chile, have you joined any? I don't remember we talked about hackathon before.
Yeah, I joined some with you, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Then I
This is long
joined
time
some of
back.
the Hack in the Box one before they left Malaysia. Then I think 2 years ago, last year or 2 years ago, I've been, instead of participating, I've been starting to more like mentoring.
Okay.
So yeah.
Interesting. I never been mentoring
But
people on hackathon.
if I want to say is I'm too old to do 24 or 48 hours of hackathons.
Mhm.
In a way, it's a
Too
bit
old for it.
physically draining.
Yes.
It is, yeah.
So my last one is in. Damn. But I want to talk about the Paris one, or I talk about the local one. The Paris one is interesting. That one is about it's a hackathon to build open government toolkit
Mm-hmm.
using tools to fix government and democracy. The competition is more of there's no prize but only bragging rights. Here's the interesting thing. It's only about bragging rights. They do pay me to go to Paris, but so I still call that a win. I mean, I don't have to pay to go Paris, so they pay me for a lot of stuff. But the competition is about usefulness of tools, innovative tools for opening up government. And Sina Project had a toolkit they are interested in. So they bring me over. So their focus is actually on fixing government. So for example, you got, it's very different than local hackathon because one, local techies avoid politics or administrative issues, whereas the people that are involved in the hackathon embrace it. So they build tools like how to index. They're building tools to index the law to make it online. They have a tool for building up a municipal council, issue tracking and all that. So this is an interesting hackathon. And it happened during one of the big open government event. It's called Open Government Partnership Event. A lot of the big names are there. Government officials especially, so they are there. And the goal is to see innovations from the open source community to actually make government more transparent. There's a more interesting one.
So what do you guys think, what's the purpose of doing hackathon or participating in one?
So a lot of people actually want idea. I'm sad to say this. A lot of people really want to see fresh idea outside of the organization. That's my opinion because DBS have been go crazy over bank because the banking IT they don't have a chance to build new innovative product. That's my opinion. Local bank tried that before because the organization doesn't seem to have new ideas. So a lot of the organization they want new idea from outside, at least from Malaysia one especially. So what do you think?
But isn't that the point? Like usually the hackathons are like about ideas and
yeah, correct.
It's not just like when in a slideshow or in a presentation, it's not as interesting. It's more like, can this actually be done? And that the value of the hackathon is not just about the idea, but also the proof of concept. That yes, there is an idea, but we can also do it.
So here's my little issue with issue number one. Okay, the first time I'm going to raise. Sometimes people focus too much on idea and less of execution.
Yeah.
So in some place, the idea is blurred. So the idea between having only one. So yes, organization want fresh idea, but sometimes do they want fresh idea or do they want fresh implementation? Implementation here as in rough implementation because real project take longer to build. So that's the first complaint. What do they want out of a hackathon? And also it depends on organization because, okay, for the last few hackathon, can you name a few of the organizers for it?
For which one?
Any hackathon.
Well, there's Angel Hack.
Yep.
And there was, I guess that's Maverick, and then I forgot his name.
Okay.
He slipped, or High Slick. I forgot it.
High Slick, correct.
High Slick, yeah. And so I think those are the two that I remember. And then there's, those are the only ones that I actually attend. Angel Hack, DBS was, the DBS blockchain hack was by DBS. I don't remember the others. Angel Hack was the biggest one, and that's the one that I would usually go for.
So I went to the local one, just stick with local one. I went to the Launchpad. They did one project to do what's the name of the thing called? Allora Hackathon. Allora it's actually a standard of wireless network. Low power, so it's about hardware and all that. I think I get this from it's the Launchpad and MCMC. So this is actually from the t-shirt I get. So MCMC did one. They did one for hardware hacking. So that did one. Then previously I joined Startup Weekend one time. So I think that's about it. I didn't join that many hackathons.
I think I attended Startup Weekend as well.
Yeah, I actually fought one of the earliest one lah.
But last time, hackathons that I attended last time are either startups pitching.
Yep.
So basically, people came prepared, knowing what they need to show. And the another one is like the Google one we used to have.
Yeah.
Like basically, in a way, promotional. It serves as a promotional for this company's technologies and stuff.
Yeah. So we goes back to that, right? So all these organizations, what do they want from hackathon? That I'm not very clear. Promotion is the easiest one because all the AWS hackathon at one time
they're straightforward at least.
They really want to let developer to get their hand on the technology.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's okay-ish, but it takes a lot of energy out of our energy to sell a product. But put it this way, it's okay. I think it's okay because otherwise you do not have a chance to trial a product. I mean, think about it, right?
Mm.
So how often, let's say, give you a good example. Let's say your production is mostly online now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, or whatever existing thing. How often you get a chance to test some new API, new services, and all that? It's actually harder at work, but which is why I think Hackathon had a very good utility in this way that we can play with technology.
And also a way
Yeah.
for the a way for the companies to discover what sort of creative ways creative stuff can be done with their new products.
So
So I like for example that there, like in the previous Angel Hack that I joined, IBM was there, and then that was the first time I've heard about Bluemix, and and because one of the categories of the winning team of the like prizes was how would you use IBM Bluemix in a particular way, and so of course we did their machine learning portions, and so we got like an award there, like about best use of machine learning, and it was interesting because I found out about Bluemix. I'm still not using it because Google's machine learning portions are still better, but it's a good way for companies to like get their technologies out.
And for developer, it's a good way to evaluate whether a tool is useful in the future.
Like, do you have enough documentation, for example, on a hackathon?
Correct. So I think in a way, it's not too bad if we set our expectation on both sides. Know what I mean? But the issue is for that is easy. It can be an easy win for both sides. So that done. One thing I noticed that sometimes organizations hope to see startups coming from hackathon.
Startups coming from hackathon. I think that's quite a large. That's a big expectation.
But do you notice that quite a number of organizations seems to have this kind of expectation? I mean, because otherwise you would have a hackathon for say a hackathon.
Yeah, I think one of the Angel Hacks that I went to, one of the persons there was very, very pushy, and then they actually wanted, let's all sign a contract together and whatever, and then we're going to start it. And it's like, that just kills the fun out of a hackathon at this point, because it is about figuring things out at this spot. Like it is a fun thing. If it will eventually turn out to be a business, then it takes a different kind of conversation. Like just because we did a hackathon doesn't mean that we're interested in making a business out of it.
I think that's where our motives of joining hackathon get very different between different type of people. for developers, we want to experiment, right? So let's take back a little bit from that. What makes hackathon fun to you?
So I believe that hackathons are a way to compress a full week's work into just like a 24-hour thing, because 24 hours is like 8 hours, three times 8 hours, right? So that's 3 days. But that's not just 3 days, because you're actually removing a lot of the inefficiencies in between days. Like there's no commute, there's no ramping up of context and then removing the context, because it's just one continuous day. And it's like extra 2 days of like extra um, 16 hours of efficiency. So that's why I think it's 40 hours of a week compressed into just 24 hours. And that it makes it's really fun to trial a particular technology in for a whole week. This is just what your only focus is on, and that kind of very sharp focus on a particular technology makes you learn more about it, makes you become more efficient at doing something about it. Plus, of course, the psychological aspect and the consciousness altering aspect of lack of sleep and a lot of caffeine in your blood.
Okay, so, but what drive you to work, I'm sorry to say, doubly hard during a hackathon? Is it a chance to experiment, or is it a chance to play with tools?
I think the very important thing for me is the social aspect. So basically finding like-minded people to do things together.
You're social in hackathons? I don't know. I don't feel like working 24 hours with someone that I don't really know.
I don't really work on stuff when I'm in a hackathon. I'm just chit-chatting around.
Okay, you're the one to distract people from
yes.
So here's my thing about hackathon. I'm not productive at it. I'm never productive at it. I'm not the type that can. Deadline doesn't work for me. In fact, I hate deadline. The closer the deadline, the less productive I am. So which is why I tend to push things early. I tend to push things early as much as possible. So maybe it's a old habit of mine, because usually at the last day, the day before the exam, I don't study. I only study early on, but that's not the point. The point is, as a result, to me, deadline doesn't. The reason I'm not productive at hackathon is because I cannot handle deadline. I really cannot handle deadline. So put 24 hours, I really hate it in a way that I cannot be productive. I tend to do things very slowly. So that's my issue with hackathon. That's my personal issue with hackathon, actually. I cannot be productive in it. So, which is why to me, I really don't like it. So, which is why I never managed to deliver. And actually, that's my thing. So it's not everything. So as a result, it gives me a lot of other impression of hackathon as well. So, but that said, doesn't mean I don't get something from it. The Laura Hackathon, for example, is a very nice place where I get to learn technology. The organization to do the right thing, good thing, in their opinion. That's where I learned things like Wikidata. That's why I'm using a Sparkle query from Wikipedia. Very interesting project, among many things. So it's actually pretty cool. I do get something, but I just saying that I'm not productive. I never managed to be productive in a hackathon. And actually, that's my thing. So which I don't really like it that much.
Because of not just deadline, probably the environment that is probably is foreign, and a lot of the time the places that I went were not that comfortable as well.
Yes.
Like crowded, noisy.
Actually, there is
The wrong temperature.
Actually, there is in theory part of the thing that should make people productive, and it does work. Some people do work very well outside of their comfort zone, right? And many people manage to deliver very good thing out of it, and that's why hackathon is very intense. You want to deliver something. Deliver what? I'm not sure, but it's to deliver something, right? So let's move on from motive for developer and you. What else about hackathon? What do you think about hackathon here nowadays?
I haven't joined a recent hackathon, but at least the last one I've been joining, yeah, it is a bit more commercial.
Did you join the Lawtech one?
I didn't. So I have to switch um, video sources for a bit because apparently I'm running on data instead of the Wi-Fi because the phone is not connecting to the Wi-Fi. So I'll be back in a bit.
Okay, we'll let Swimming talk about it.
Yeah. So another thing about recent hackathon is the question of sustainability.
Yeah.
Again, it depends.
I think I'm not sure what do you mean by sustainability.
So here's the thing about hackathon. Do you want solution or do you want a business plan? Or rather, a business is a solution, but do you want to be a technological solution, i.e. building tools? Or,
I think that is considered, I like to put it, continuity of stuff you are doing.
Yes. So almost anybody that can give you a number, almost never, hackathon almost never generate a new company that sustain long enough. Many would make an argument that big company from the US are a result of hackathon. But here's a statistic. Maybe you can have 10 well-known company from hackathon. You got 1,000 more hackathons around the world.
Put it this way, I think anybody who knows anyone who managed to run a company, started from a hackathon successfully, please ping us.
Yes.
We would like to interview you.
Yep.
Well, I know Shafiu started, I forgot the name, the competitor to My Taxi that time. What was the competitor to My Taxi?
There's a few.
Taxi Monger.
Yeah.
Taxi Monger started out with one of the first hackathons I started. So I think that was an angel hack, 2011, I think, or 2012. And yeah, so they did Taxi Monger, and then they started a company. And of course, My Taxi was a lot better at the getting the contacts, and apparently it's because the Taxi Monger team went to an accelerator somewhere in South America for 3 months.
Startup Chile?
Probably something like that. And what happened was, because of those 3 months absence in Malaysia, My Taxi just took over. And it's just like those 3 months were the critical ones because they didn't keep up with the business development. And so that's why we have My Taxi, which is known as Grab now.
So I'm going to eat my word for what I said just now.
Mm-hmm.
But statistically speaking, it's still the percentage is still low.
Well, I guess in Angel Hack it's higher, because Angel Hack is designed to actually send the winners of the Angel Hack to business development thing. So there is technically a startup that forms, whether it's successful or not. I think that's where the statistics fall down. Because I remember the last Angel Hack that I joined, the winner, which like Chaffee and I still feel that they're like, it's a very safe idea, which is like an e-commerce thing as usual. Like the judges that time, I feel, were very risk averse. and so they chose something that they knew was going to make money, which is like a marketplace of sorts. And so they went, and then they got like funding. They got, I think, for a year they were still having some business, and then I think they closed up eventually, because it's a marketplace. There's already so many marketplaces. Lazada is already killing the marketplace in Malaysia, and then there's Shopee, 11th Street, all of these marketplaces. So a small startup with like very minimal funding, with not a lot of like innovation, is not going to
Yeah.
it's not going to survive. Or maybe they did start the startup in order to be acquired, but I guess that never panned out.
Yeah, I think that's where we need to think deeper. I suppose you should actually do more research, because you just proved me wrong a few times already. But I
No, no,
still think the
no.
statistic is low.
So
Where do you get
for
where do you get your
Honestly,
statistics, swimming?
it's a back of the head calculation.
yeah,
Number
no.
of
So
hackathons in
but swimming
Malaysia.
is correct though. So again, like I'm saying, because um, by the way Angel Hack is designed, the winner is like given that support.
Yeah,
But swimming's back of the head statistics works for like how many startups were formed that were not
yes,
winners, right?
Yeah.
So that, because you have like 100 teams, or almost 100 teams joining the hackathon, and one out
yes.
of 100 is not a very good return on investment for a hackathon.
No.
You should have at least like what,
Yeah,
new startups for a hackathon if you were sponsoring one, or like if the government was sponsoring one. But
yes.
that's not a very good return on investment.
Yeah. I think
Because okay, so here's another reason why my back of the head number works, because a few, and these anecdotes, a few of the company that got started that is relatively successful are not from hackathon. Quite a number in my circle that actually start company are not from hackathon. And I work with few of them. So I believe you got a better chance of. I believe that people start their own startup and focus on growing a business had bigger chance than joining a hackathon and do something. That's my opinion.
Hmm.
And this is based on anecdotes, but not real data.
Well, I guess it depends on why the hackathon was set up. Like, what I
Yeah,
really don't like about when I joined the hackathons would be the judges who have no idea really what the hackathon is about, and start asking you, how does this make money? When, like, I'm a software developer. Why are you asking people here how to make money? Um, I mean, I guess they want a return on their time or something, but isn't it the that, like, I would think of a hackathon as some sort of a marketplace of ideas. Hey, look, this is what we're offering you. These are the cool things that we've thought of. Then maybe someone else will come see how this can be turned into a money making scheme or something,
yeah.
or business. And that's how I think hackathon should be. But for some reason, hackathons have morphed into this uh, some sort of like, okay, the next big thing will be done in a
mm,
hackathon, which I
Yeah.
don't think that will ever happen. Like,
It's
most
a
of the
very big
biggest
step.
things
I think
will
it
be
should be
like,
fun.
they need some plans. Yeah,
It should be
exactly.
fun.
But fun is subjective, and that's the thing. For
And
some,
and choosing a winner for hackathon is really stupid in my opinion,
Mhm.
because the idea, I think hackathon should be like a platform for everybody to show what sort of like ideas. And even though like for some of the judges the idea might not suit them, it might be a good idea for somebody else. So
Mhm.
they shouldn't like, I mean, either you for all the participants you publish all their results or whatever, so other people can catch up with. Or I don't know. The problem with hackathon is what I see is there's too much focus on the winner.
yeah,
So
it's a winner takes all dynamic.
yeah,
That's a term. It's a winner takes all
and winning
dynamic.
a hackathon is, I don't know. I cannot wrap my mind around like winning hackathon. I don't know. It doesn't fit at all.
Yeah, I think there is different way to look at this, because The way hackathon works is sometime a hackathon. What happened in hackathon is technical implementation doesn't matter, but the business plan does.
Yeah.
But the business plan is almost like a template that is reused and not grown. It's very different than say a marathon. A marathon, win or lose, even without the participation medal, you still gain something in the way of health. What do we get? Okay, so even you're not winning, it's something that you prove to yourself that you have done, right? It's interesting, and also there's actually physical benefit. What do we get from hackathon? That's my thing.
I don't know. The most memorable takeaway for me from a hackathon is food poisoning.
Because Tristan already said that he had a chance to be productive with fresh idea.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
well, because what I really like is that because you can if there are too many choices, like we're software developers, we can practically do anything, then
Yes.
it's very difficult to do something. But
Yes.
when you so the creative process starts when you start boxing in and restricting what you can do, and that I think is where the creativity starts happening. It's like, how do I make how do I get out of this restriction? So how do I follow the rules while not following the rules and doing something else? So basically, that's the hack, right?
Yeah.
And that I think is the fun part there,
Yeah.
where it gets like I get to learn about new things. I get to try out new techniques that I wouldn't be normally doing because I would rather do something in a stable way or in a
Yes.
professional way. But in a hackathon, because of the rules, because of the restrictions, I get to play around with technology and I get to do something that's not the norm.
Yeah.
And that's fun for me.
Yes. And to me, I get the best one is still the one about new technology and new tools. That's the thing.
Mhm.
But I still think that hackathon should be, I don't know, I'm just not that. But on the other hand, here's a fresh idea that I do not know whether people did it or not. Do you know the concept of Jamboree?
No, Jamboree is like the 25 years, right?
Okay, a Jamboree is a gathering, right? It's less toward a competition. It's less toward a competition. There is competition, but it's more toward gathering of people. I'm talking
It's a
about
gathering of scouts, according to
yeah.
Wikipedia.
I'm talking about on the Boy Scout
Mhm.
context. Jamboree is used in other thing, but mostly used in Boy Scout context. So it's a gathering. Of course, they
Yeah.
have some competition and all that, but mostly a gathering, socialization, and
Yeah, but
event.
the competition is like pretty fun if I
Correct,
remember.
correct. Uh, hackathons feels like a jamboree, except everybody only focus on doing things and win. So less toward to a competition than a gathering. Okay, so why I talk about jamboree instead of a marathon competition? Uh, I believe one of the things that we never explore fully for a hackathon is actually a gathering of software developers. It's not often that Malaysia bring to Malaysia context where technical person meet at one place.
Really? We meet like once a week at least?
No, on a large scale. On a we have 10 people as a hundreds, one whole room. Okay, they are almost like conferences, except technical conference in Malaysia is very stack specific. Python had their Python conferences, Ruby had their Ruby conferences.
Something like a bar camp format?
We only have one Geek Camp, only one time, once a year. But even a Geek Camp or bar camp is a very one-sided thing, even though in theory we can do more. So it's one-sided in a way that we talk, you listen, or you talk back, and that's about it. I think
So it's a meetup then.
It's a meetup, but more activities. So in Jamboree, there is competition. Build the best thing and all that.
Swimming gonna start what you call it
A rant?
A code Jamboree.
a code jamboree.
No, so I'm just thinking that hackathons had tendency to be focused on winning. It's not a bad thing all the time. Oh my goodness. Oh, my Mac just only have 24.
You could say, is it like a Burning Man?
Yeah, Burning Man. Burning Man is a
for
great
programmers.
example. Burning Man is a great example. Burning Man is very craft specific, and it's not wrong because 3D printers are built down there.
Really? I didn't know about
Yeah. People built some technical art pieces down there, and you think why the nerds are there?
But the Burning Man is like a week long, right? How long is the Burning Man?
Yeah. It's a week long. You cannot do a short term. My point is, there is some very good idea in hackathon. It's a gathering of people. It's a place where people test idea, and it's competitive. Competitive is not always a bad thing, and we get to do things on the compressed schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe those are benefits. Those are actual benefits.
So speaking of that, so we actually just came from a hackathon in my company, and it's of course originally the project managers were a bit skeptical because like it's an extra 2 days of people not being productive, just like drinking coffee, and the next day of course you're useless because you want to catch up on sleep, right? But then when they attended the pitching events of the hackathon, like, well, not really pitching, but it's more like show off of the project, they said they have to redo the priorities because these are all just amazing ideas, and it's because we have work and we're following whatever the priorities are that we don't really get to show what are the things that we've been thinking about and actually showing it in a tangible manner, like actually with code, with actual reactive websites. And so at least in the company hackathon that we just had, it was very useful to explore new ideas, new ways to interact with the business, new money making schemes, basically, or new applications. And it does help expand the expand the vision of the decision makers into what is possible, because we just showed them what is possible.
Okay, so here's a question. Can I say that your company hackathon leads to more tangible result compared to hackathon outside the company?
I don't know if it will lead to a tangible result.
No.
They are prototypes. I doubt that we are going to deploy any of them to production. They're all also half baked. But what it does do, or what it did to the project managers, is that they realized that there are so many things that they haven't thought of themselves, and so these are extra ideas that they can prioritize against other ideas that they're getting from the rest of the company.
No, and that is actually more tangible to me compared to other hackathon. Even the idea is horrible outside the company, you know that because when you do this hackathon, it will be almost always in context of a company and business, right? At least you know that that's a stupid idea for very good reason.
But isn't that the same thing?
Result.
So this was actually the same reasoning made by DBS when they did the blockchain hackathon, is because they are a bank. They know blockchain is eventually going to be a thing in the financial industry, and they don't know what to do with blockchain. And so they made the blockchain hack so that they can understand what are developers thinking about when you hear blockchain. What are the applications?
And that is actually correct, right? That is actually correct because Singapore, maybe the culture is different, but that is a tangible result. But how about startup based? How about Angel Hack? What is the result out of it? maybe it's tangible because the VC will notice that it's bad. It doesn't. There's better idea. Maybe that is tangible. But to me, a company, because it's tied closer to the goal of a company. Okay, in my opinion, it's a little bit more tangible. I'm going to get so many haters tonight. But
fine, it's good for viewership.
but I think a company-based activity, hackathon activity, it's more tangible in the way that you experiment, you evaluate. As long you evaluate and feed back to the company, and that is tangible. The feedback by itself.
How do we make swimming say more controversial things?
Say anything you want.
Like
So in this case,
so basically swimming is saying that Angel Hack is wasting its money making hackathons.
no, it's more of we need to be clear on what we expect and what do we want to add on top of it.
So
That's the
so
thing.
for an ideal hackathon, like if you were advising Angel Hack, like, okay, dude, you're doing hackathons wrong. This
Yeah.
is what you should be doing. So what would you advise them?
Okay, so Angel Hack is about trying to start a company in a compressed time. That's what Startup Weekend is about. Okay, the format is not too different. They're trying to start up a company in a compressed time and all that. One of the tangible data that a developer or a business owner can actually see is what is the tech, how easy for us to build something. So here's a silly idea. It's not practical, but it goes like this. AI is so new. It's so new. In fact, I wouldn't even call it AI. I call it machine learning based application. It's longer, but I don't care. So you're going to evaluate how fast it is for how good is current production ready solution. In this case, we're evaluating libraries, right? What can we do with it? What kind of market they can address? And you feed back to the community. So at the state of the art of machine learning library right now, we can do text classification, yada, 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 but we cannot reliably do text to intelligent text chatbot without extracting few years. Know what I mean? So it depends on the context. For business-based hackathon, the goal would be experimenting with. You do not want to just think of business model. Business model is easy. You can project whatever you want. But the benefit now is that you can build and experiment with tools. And that leads to business solution. And more importantly, you need to be open about the result from it is you need to have some form of result. It can be a publication and all that.
But don't they put it on the website?
So, okay, so think about, okay, I do not read about, here's my context, I do not read about it that much, but how many people have said, how many articles after hackathon that says that based on current technology that we have experiment with, we believe that this can use for whatever thing without being overly optimistic. Think about very real solution right now. How many of such article exist? Think about that, right?
I don't even know what to search for.
Yeah, correct. Because often, sometimes I go to hackathon, people project numbers, right? Project numbers. Are you sure? What have you built that project those numbers? I think projecting number is not really as real, but there is a few things that is camera technology. Then can talk about processes, because think about it. Uber, Airbnb are more processes that happens to use technology. So
well, like every other business, right?
Correct. So in that case, maybe for startup weekends and all that, maybe they can look at processes and how technology. Then maybe how technology can improve it, but it's about processes and all that. Trying out opportunities and all that, experiment. But maybe not project numbers, because you can project whatever number you want.
Yeah. Speaking of the publication, maybe Chil Yong might want to cover like these hackathons and actually start tracking down like, okay, these are the hackathon participants, which one of them actually started a business and which one died off.
Yeah.
Might be a
Actually,
good
Well, you
journey.
can just go around if there is any, like, if they allow me to, I would like to interview some of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Maybe
sim
we can talk about it like as DevKami, we can like go attend a hackathon and I become like Chil Yong who just distract people and talk to people
yeah.
instead of actually joining one.
And also another thing about hackathon now is sometimes the hackathon is technical, right? It's very technical.
Yeah, it is.
So for example, so this one I talked about is about trying to build tools to reduce garbage, right? Is it the right place to talk about do a business projection in such a hackathon or makeathon? What I mean,
I guess if it's about social awareness and social responsibility, I'm not sure. I
no.
guess
In
it's
this
about,
case, it's about technology,
yeah.
building tools, right?
Mm,
The focus is for building tools. Maybe you need to talk about how many garbage and all that. Yeah, you can talk about impact, but maybe a more technical hackathon should focus on technical merit. Maybe that. Know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Can you
Than
elaborate
business
on
one.
that?
So the LoRa hackathon, a lot of it is like they want to cover things like how many people will use our technology versus what we can do with LoRa. You have a low power, wide range wireless network. What you can do with it. So it's somewhat the same goal, but the goal should be sometime when you want to showcase technology, then the solution should be technical over business.
Mm.
Another example is legal hack. From the introduction of legal hack, they want to improve legal processes, but maybe the focus should be on improving legal processes than
I agree
saying about
on when
legal
it's tech,
business.
it should be on tech, but when it's improving things, it should be on the process instead of the tech.
So in Paris, the goal for this is the goal of all the tools is almost never about like I have this tool, it's very cool. No, that's bullshit. The Open Government Partnership Hackathon in Paris, the thing is essentially like this. I need ways to represent people in a reusable database so that we can keep track of we can use it to power our front end to keep track of transparency issues. People say like you need to build a website to keep track of the law because people need to able to access the law. So their goal is very clear. It's not about profit, but it's about why we build these tools. Because at the end of the day, the tools is about opening up government. So how do we open up? I want a database of politician, public usable by public. So that's the goal. So a goal at hackathon should be context specific. So which leads back to for that one, the context is opening up government, not just technology. For some technical one, maybe we should judge on a technical merit than a business merit. And in some of the hackathon, it actually works because people do manage to build a prototype out, very good prototype. And those to me is a very good result. We should not worry too much about business. But maybe if you do startup weekend, business case is important that technology we should not be judged as in you should not judge by the fact that this person used AI is awesome. It should be context specific.
Yeah, speaking of, you mentioned about government. There was this thing in Washington D.C. where their law is actually published on GitHub,
Yep.
and someone actually sent a pull request, and
Yes.
it got merged, and that means the law was changed with a pull request. So
Yep.
I put the link on Slack as well. So that is an interesting. I'm not sure if this was part of a hackathon, but this is probably a way for technology to be more like it's a good showcase of how technology could be used to better certain processes.
Yeah. But it's not necessarily hackathon, but the hackathon is let me do something because my laptop is out of battery.
Yeah. But I mean, it would be cool, right? For example, maybe this was the result of a hackathon from way before, where someone showed the concept of having laws in a GitHub
Okay.
repository and then having the pull request actually be an official way to amend the law. That
Actually,
would be
this one is
interesting.
more of sprint than hackathon.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, roughly around February or so, there's an event, international event called Open Data Day. Okay, it's a sprint hackathon style, 48 hours, organized
Mm-hmm.
locally.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is essentially to use technology to do things around transparency. In their case, they are open data
Oh
focused, but it's
no,
not necessarily true.
this is also well. This is different though. This is like an actual amendment of the law. Like the law
Wait.
changed
It's
because of the.
relevant. It's relevant.
Okay. All right.
Uh, it's relevant. Open Data Day is participated by civic tech organization around the world. Some of those people are members of the town councils in their respective constituency. All right, and some of those projects are about these people working inside government and try to introduce tools inside there. And sometimes it comes from Open
Mm,
Data Day.
mm-hmm. I
So
see.
yeah,
It could have been made from there.
correct. It could have
They
been
could
made
have
from
got.
there, but it's not a hackathon
Yeah, yeah.
way. But it comes
Probably.
from there. But sometimes they just go independently because civic tech organization, sometimes they just go independently and do their thing.
Yeah. Okay. So some people from the engineers mic chat mentioned that they find the hackathon can be a good way to identify talent.
Yeah,
But recently it's not a good thing because some students are forced to join, so you don't really know.
Yeah,
Like you get like
because
really.
it became some sort of an in thing where
Mhm.
like lecturers they find it a need to join in like part of the the hype train of doing
Mhm.
this hackathon. But basically what they're doing is just monkey see monkey do without
Mhm.
the real essence of what's the purpose of it. It's just doing it for the sake of doing.
It's
yeah,
like a final project
Yeah,
that doesn't really
yeah,
make much like it's
yeah.
not cool because you lack the experience and the skills necessary to actually get something out. So yeah, another one is saying that it's a social platform for geeks to hang out.
yeah. Which is why I say
Okay, I
doing
don't know about
something,
that, but
but so a jamboree is not a bad idea. Know what I mean?
mhm.
So
Yeah, mm-hmm.
because often hackathon is about winning and all that. So some people, for some, it's a great experience to learn. But I'm too old for this shit, so I don't see the point now. But it's a me thing because I don't feel productive in a hackathon.
Mm. So Axel is actually going to organize something like an indie hack. So it's probably a hackathon, but it's not a 24-hour hackathon. The
I
last one I
actually
went.
attended one before. It's actually not like hackathon, but more like a get together, try to do your stuff, and
Yeah,
probably if you have an idea and you don't mind to share it, then probably share it.
I
yeah,
think what's missing though with the indie hack that he is organizing is that because there's no accountability, so maybe about like at the end of the session to just or at least maybe in the beginning of the session state what you're going to be doing and then have other people take a look at what the output is. Because otherwise, if you just go to the cafe and you just lounge around and you just watch YouTube, there it's not a good.
Yeah. We
There's no
are actually
motivation for
we
you.
are actually having him to come up here next week to
yeah.
talk about
Wow.
being an indie developer in Malaysia.
Oh, we should do more interview. Yeah, we should interview him. It's a great idea.
Yeah,
Yes.
we book him.
Yeah,
So
So yeah, so he mentioned about like so yeah, he doesn't really like hackathons nowadays because it's more about presentation and polish, but he does organize indie hacks. And
yeah,
so we just had the indie hack like a month ago, I think. It's the second indie hack that he has organized. It's quite good. I think, what did I do there? I think I set up parts of the DevKami website there. Uh, but it's an interesting, like, it's a good focused 4 hours in a cafe, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Maybe I can do something more.
Okay. Uh, so something I've been trying to do for some time. I'm gonna hijack this channel here. Open Data Day KL. I
Okay.
want to. Open Data Day around the world has some right idea in a way that it's a compressed schedule to test idea, technology issue, and a compressed time to test with a marketplace of idea. The only thing is they don't judge on what you build. But if you build something stupid, people will laugh at you. But that's another story altogether.
Mhm.
The goal here is the goal for them is very different than Hackathon, which is why a lot of idea from Hackathon is very fresh. So in this case, they do things like originally Open Data Day is about building app on open data that's being released from the government. Okay, so that's one of the earliest thing they do. Innovative application from data. Then they expand it to be with tasks. So, for example, the task can be like filing fill out information requests. It's a process in the US and a few states to ask for data, ask for information, not necessarily data. Then in between, the same day they can do like scraping. So in the end of the day, there is delivery. Yeah, it ends up, some people ends up fail, but the delivery here is like you have new data set for people to work on. You have new processes to work on. You have fresh idea on apps, data visualization. More importantly, they expand it in a way that it's not just developers sitting together and build things. They invite representatives from government. There's from other country. We can't do that yet. Maybe we should do that. Since we're a new government, we should really do that. Let me focus first. They invite representative government. They invite stats people. Of course, there's a data scientist and all that. For them, it's they actually had statistician. Then
I just visited the Open Data Day website.
Yeah.
And Singapore is going to have a Mapathon.
Yes.
So when is swimming organizing one?
I did that for first few years and nobody want to join.
I've been joining.
Yeah, other than Chi Leong.
I'm nobody apparently.
Actually, outside of Sina project people, it just ends up like a small gathering of a small group.
Well, but it's all about marketing, right?
Yeah. I think since we have a
maybe-
platform now.
Yeah,
But we
so
should-
Seaman can do it again. So you should organize it, and we'll see if we can make you controversial enough that people will actually try and join to prove you wrong.
We have
So
some
maybe that
we have
would
some
be-
politician. We have some politician hate Sina project people, so they are
fine.
not out of controversy.
Yeah, so maybe I don't know. Will something like open data, like you can search all the newspaper articles for the mention of the word chendol and find out which has
Yeah, that
more
is not
mentions.
useful.
Is
That is not
Indonesia,
useful.
Singapore, or something?
That
Well,
is not
it is
useful.
apparently according to CNN, right?
But it's not useful. We had a lot more serious thing to work on and all that. So
And surprisingly, actually, Philippines is one of the very active country
yeah,
in doing this kind of civic movement because when I was involved in some of the projects, like some of the best use cases are actually executed in Philippines.
yes.
Mm.
So either way, I think we should do open data. I think I should get the Sina project guys to do
Yeah, which is you.
data. Yeah. The main thing is Sina project had a lot of code fixes, so our delivery is code fixes. But go back to the reason why I raised Open Data Day. This is actually one of those events where they use the idea of compressed session with a marketplace of idea to do things. And in this case, they expand it beyond just two party. So they bring in statistician, librarian. You know why they need librarian? They need people they know how to classify classify information. they get journalists, they get representative of government. So it's actually vibrant.
So we're gonna schedule an episode about Open Data Day with swimming.
Yeah. So I think I think in this case, I just want to say that this is where we have good the idea of hackathon can be just beyond the startups and technology. Something to think about. So I'm done here.
Well,
Swimming rant is over.
Yes. And also, I hate some of the hackathon is about presentation. So that's me.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think swimming rant is over. I think our podcast is also over.
Yeah.
Really?
Thank you, swimming. Yeah, we are like some of the live audience. We get special seats to watch swimming, to interact with swimming.
So, do we have anyone on chat like actually like being controversial as well, or like being?
No, it's a reminder that Law Tech Malaysia tried to do something along the line.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be a second Law Tech Malaysia.
I think so.
I have some idea I want to do. I want to build an open law site.
Exo actually has a lot of opinion, but we will save it for next week.
Yeah.
When it's up here.
Yes.
Otherwise, will be like a hackathon of the hackathon of DevKami podcast of swimming, just giving his opinion. Actually, that's a good hackathon.
Yeah.
Like, let's see when, how long the swimming run out of ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe he probably has to pause to eat, but
yeah, toilet break, sleep.
All right, I think
that concludes the episode for today.
Yes. So I think with that said, I think here's a book I would recommend people to read. Read this.
Okay.
The Friendly Orange Glow.
Friendly Orange Glow sounds like a sunset.
The Friendly Orange Glow.
Okay. I gotta put it.
So turns out the University of Illinois had a computer that built computer-based communities before there's internet in the 70s, and nobody knows about it.
Yeah, now you know.
Yeah.
But how did they write the book if nobody knows about it?
This person used to study in the University of Illinois. And it's actually a big project. It's just that it's a project on their own that for some reason never get out. It's not as well known as the internet. So I recommend this book. So I still finish it. It's a bit long. What the hell is that? Okay, something just opened, but something just cracked on the outside.
I think we need to cut this off and then let swimming figure out what goes bump in the night.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
so
bye. See you next week.
Yep.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
All right.